So hello everyone, my name is Saksham Dikshit and this is my channel Pentest Diaries. So today I'll make another video on the same series of Solidity programming series, and in this I'll try to cover one of the another concept which we call it as a bytes dynamic size array itself. As I've already covered the in previous lecture, I've already covered the fixed size array of the bytes itself, so I'll try to cover the dynamic one, and it's almost we get it completed by this. So what's the need of it? We have seen the section of the fixed one, the privilege of it in the bytes fixed size array itself. So now we'll see the dynamic one. So in Solidity, so you can use a dynamic array of bytes, which is essentially a bytes array. Unlike fixed size array, dynamic array can change in size during execution. So at the time of the execution itself, you can change the size of the array itself using a byte dynamic size array itself. Okay, instead of the fixed one, you can't. You have to define it appropriate item itself, and then you can use it over there itself. We have checked in the example also, which I have demonstrated to you. In that also I've explained you about it, how exactly we are utilizing that. So that was the reason. In case if we don't have the appropriate item list and we are not aware about it, how much items we have to get it included in the array, so then in that case we have to go with this, so that during the execution the size will be get it change also. We can change that. Okay, but there is a problem. Like if you're using something, if there is a benefit in some way, so definitely there is a cons also there itself. So as the cost is limited of the gas in case of fixed one, but in case of, as obvious, in case of dynamic, as we are not sure about the number of items, then definitely consider the efficiency of the gas also is one of the bigger problem over there itself. Like as we are not aware about, so it may be get it increased as per the need itself. If the items are getting increased, the gas efficiency will be get it increased to that level itself. So we just have to make sure that as we have a limited number of items itself, and we try to minimize the gas consumption over there itself. That's only one of the con, and we'll try to make it in the positive of us when we are using byte dynamic byte size array itself. Then in that case we have to make sure that the gas consumption should be less, as similar like the fixed size array itself, but it should not be exact similar, but we try our best to get it, make that appropriate one, so that it's not consume and cost a lot for us. Okay, now we'll go to the actual section for it, which we call it as actual demonstration for it, where I'll just showcase you the code of it, how to see that, how exactly to get it execute that, and what are the difference between a fixed one and the dynamic one. I'll try to get it covered in the code itself. So now we'll go to the system now, see that how to get it, make the code, and how to get it executed, and what are the benefits we are getting out of it. Okay, let me go to the system now. So if we are proceeding further with the code itself, so here is the code for it. There are two codes which I have make it for the byte dynamic size array itself. So this is the first code. The syntax is as obvious, starting with that predefined one which we have already mentioned about it. Now this is the name of the contract. Okay, now this is the state variable itself. We have defined it as a bytes itself, and this is public, and this is the name of the variable, and this is the value we are initiating at the time of defining it. Okay, now we go inside of it, and there are three functions we are making it. There is a first function is push element, where we have to push the element. Whenever we'll click on the push element, this values get it pushed. So this is a syntax itself. We just have to get it used along with the state variable, and we'll try to push the value which is inside of the bracelet itself. Okay, now we go inside of the next section for it, which we call it as a get element. By this way we have to give the input as a pointer itself, and we can get the output in the form of value. Like taking example, if we put in a value as 1, then in that case we can get the output like in pointer number 1, what exact the value we have it stored inside of the array itself. So that we can retrieve using a get element. Now if we talk like in case if we are just putting a value which is not valid, taking example, if our array is 3 itself, 3 is the length of the array, and if we're trying to put the 5, there's nothing like that, we can get the output of it. So that's also another thing. And if we're talking about the last one, that we get length. So get length is also the same thing. We have to use a predefined special function itself over here itself. b1.b1 is a state variable, and we have to get the dot length itself. By that way, when we clicked on it, we will get the length of it. So whatever the length of the array, we can get that. So now let me compile this code and deploy it for you, so that you can able to get the details about it. So it's deployed now. Let me go to this section. So initially I'll show you the value of b1. So initially you can see it's ABC, so we can able to see that's ABC. We can able to see the length also. Okay, that's also one other thing. If I'll try to see the value of 0, then in that case I can see 61. If I'll try to see the value of 2, I can able to see 63. But if I'll try to put the value 3 over here itself, I'm not getting anything. This is a garbage one. We are seeing it over here itself, but nothing we are getting it output, as we don't have anything in the array at third position itself, like 0 to 4, it's the fourth position. But if you are putting a 3, then in that case it's a fourth position for it. So on fourth position we don't have anything. Now if you try to click on the push element, which is this function itself. If we try to click on the push element, if I'll try to see the get length once again, it's seeing as length is 4. Now it's increased by 1. If I'll try to see a b1 value, this has become 64. It means a d will be getting added as it's getting 4. And now if I'll try to check the same thing once again, I can see like the output is 64. If I'll try to go for 4, no, it will not work for me. Okay, so that's exactly be a code for this. Actual description about the dynamic in case of byte itself, size array itself. So that's the code. Now we'll go to the next code. We'll try to see the pop also. Like push is one other thing. We'll try to see the push and the pop, both the things at the same time, and try to see like how to make that stuff. Okay, so there's a little bit change over here itself. I'm using a constructor also over here. So this is the straightforward syntax. Now one state variable is getting defined. Now the constructor, we are defining it over here itself. Inside of the constructor we are defining the value of the state variable. Now we go inside of the function. There are 4 functions we are using it over here itself. So in case of first, we are trying to push a value from our side. Over there in the last code we are trying to add d. Now over here itself we are trying to push c. Okay, so whatever that the length we are having it, we'll try to put the c over there itself. Now there is a function which we are defining over here itself, pop element, where whatever the length of the state variable is at array, and we'll try to pop, like we are trying to remove one value. Like take example, if it's 1 2 3 4 5, so fifth one, if we'll try to click on the pop, so fifth value will get it, fifth value is get it removed. Then again we are clicking on the pop element, then in that case the 3 reverse one get it removed. If I'll go to the next function that we call it as a function get length, so we'll see that same thing, like the length of the function itself. We can see the length of the state variable, and which we call it as an array itself. Okay, now if I'll go to the next section, which is a get element, by this we have to put the index value from our side, and by that way we can get the output, what actually the value pointing to that index value number itself. Okay, so now we'll exactly be deploying the code. Let me compile the code first and then deploy it. So once we deploy it, so initially I can see the whole value of the temp. This is the one of the temp value I'm having it, which we have already defined instead of the constructor. Now if I'll try to see the length, I can see the length is 9. If I'll try to see the value at 8, I can able to see it's 35. Okay, so it's 0 to 8, that is 9. Now if I'll try to click on push element and I'll check that length once again, it's become 10. If I'll try to see the value inside of the temp itself, I can see the value 63. Now as it's c will be getting added. And now if I'll try to check over here itself for the 9, I can able to get that output as 63. Now if I'll click on the pop, so now immediately if I'll try to see the length, this one value is getting reduced, and over here it's a temp, you can see the 63 is getting removed. If I'll try to check the same once again 9, I will not get any output, as if I'll try it over here itself, I can see the same output as it's a garbage one. So now that's all about the stuff of the pop and the push in case of a dynamic one, which we are using it over here itself by dynamic size array itself. So that's actually be a difference between a dynamic size array and the fixed size array, which we have covered in the last video itself. So I think you can able to understand now the difference between both the concept for it. And if you have any doubt, please let me know about it in the comment section of this video itself. And what are the different topics you just want to get it covered in the whole series itself. I'll try to cover all the concepts, whatever the best, I'll try to get it covered. It may be nearer around the 45 lectures you can get it in this series. I'll try my best to make that. And if Other than that, also, if there is any concept which you want to be get it included in this series, just let me know in the comment section. I'll try to get it added in this series so that you can able to understand that clearly from my side as per my understanding. And if you like this video, please subscribe my channel. Thank you so much once again. Take care. Bye bye.